Get out some popcorn, maybe a passport. It's time to go around the world in movies and television shows. Bucket list destination seen on screen, the Netherlands.
Vult mijn gedachten als de mooiste stad in ons land.
Though it filmed in England, the movie Tulip Fever refers to Netherlands provinces in the 1700s. However, our 2026 visit to the country shows a type of fever and mania for tulips still exists. History says tulip mania ended centuries ago, but if you come to Keukenhof Gardens in the height of tulip season, there seems to be a lot of mania here. Joining a Viking River cruise called Tulips and Windmills, we hit the biggest blossom mass at Keukenhof Gardens outside Amsterdam. Some 45,000 people showed up for that top day of tulip season, which runs a surprisingly short span between the end of March and early April. With 7 million bulbs planted, no words match images in explaining why so many people want to see this garden. What a mix of colors. I wish I could do that in my yard. And you're a guide here and you're photographing it.
I'm a guide and a photographer. Both.
This is very beautiful. Going around the world in movies and television, Keukenhof Gardens outside of Amsterdam, a perfect setting for a Bollywood musical. Earlier on our voyage, we visited a tulip farm where owners revealed a couple of sad situations. One, the real business involves selling bulbs, so instead of going into bouquets, most plants get dead-headed, with flowers cut off at the top and thrown away. And two, despite packaging that permits bulbs back to the United States, most will die before their ideal planting period in October. So live in the moment and enjoy the flowers in their homeland. That homeland provides an enjoyable itinerary that goes beyond flowers. Windmills joined the Viking trip title, and we saw many. At the Kinderdijk World Heritage Site, getting close to blades felt a little eerie, so I could understand why a slasher movie maker came up with the Windmill Massacre, called the Windmill in the United States. This is a creepy sensation when you walk by this. Windmill is windmilling. Movie buffs also know that Alfred Hitchcock made an Amsterdam windmill important in his Foreign Correspondent film, but he famously preferred shooting in studios more than real locations. Of course, he had an eye for what looked striking, and windmills fit that bill. Movie locations showed up at other stops on the trip, with World War II history coming at Arnhem, real-life setting for Operation Market Garden, and A Bridge Too Far. Movies often ignore reality, so I asked our history expert guide for his evaluation of the film's accuracy.
Yeah, it is very accurate. It shows you in a perfect way why a market garden, the liberation action about the airborne divisions, the airborne armies, they were not successful. And I always say the law of Murphy existed here. The movie was recorded in Deventer. In Deventer, there's a village around, let's say, 40 kilometers from here.
We have to, in my city, we have to make a construction works of a new bridge because these bridges, same one as that, they was occupied for half a year to make the movie. You couldn't pass it. It was war on the bridge every day.
Since our Arnhem stop ran longer than usual, a small group of us from the ship set out to see what the city's coffee bars look like, coffee representing a euphemism for drugs in the Netherlands. This is sort of a boomer crowd heading to a coffee bar. Coffee being not so much coffee, but whatever, it's legal, and some of us will and some not. I thought it was funny on our ship that they had to lecture us boomers about not coming back on board with smoking. Now, we actually aren't planning to do that, but we just went in there and you can't. You have to bring your own. It's a roll only. So we're looking for coffee bars. We'll see what happens. Some of us don't smoke and prefer real coffee, but given the nighttime hour, we headed to a different kind of bar, one that served local beer. Other stops gave us the chance to try regional delicacies like herring and Enkhuizen. A duck liked it.
Bird is sizing you up. It's like, is this a good one or not?
Does he have any more? No, he doesn't. We preferred pastry in Veer and apple cake in another town. And Fred, well, he managed to find ice cream at nearly every location. Sweets fueled us for other tours where history and movies often combine. For instance, a documentary called Van Gogh, something like that, of wheat fields and clouded skies explains why a little area called Otterlo houses the world's second largest collection of the artist's paintings. But no one needs to ponder why so many find themselves loving Vincent. The movie title Loving Vincent explains the way a lot of people feel. A main character in that movie, the postman from Arles. And this is the poster we have in our bedroom. Another set-jetting opportunity comes in Zeeland, featuring sites covered in a Netflix war film called The Forgotten Battle. Well, everyone's heard of A Bridge Too Far, but not The Forgotten Battle. What is that? It's a movie.
It's a movie. It relates to the battle here in Zeeland, southwestern part of the Netherlands, that took place towards the end of 1944.
In the Zeeland, there was still a strong foothold of the German army. And in order to actually be able to beat them, they deliberately bombed the dikes on 4 spots, so the area became underwater, and this way they could in the end defeat the German army.
Its locations include Veer, whose streets and buildings survived World War II. Also, a museum there introduced us to an artist whose style we really appreciated. Zeeland also surprised us with a fascinating museum dedicated to a disaster we'd never heard about, a flood in 1953 with at least 1,800 victims, and inspiration for a movie called The Storm. Another surprise came in Middelburg. Vladimir Zelensky was there the day before us. As ancestral home for the Roosevelt family, Middelburg serves as host to the International Four Freedoms Awards. When it comes to surprises, how about surfing in downtown Rotterdam? Yep, it happens.
Here we go. All right, good
Just
job.
like Huntington Beach.
All right.
Not.
Okay, I see they all take turns, huh? Oh.
But then Rotterdam goes for the unusual, like architecture featuring cube houses. All this makes for a lot of sightseeing in just 10 days, and that ignores a stop in Belgium. But cruise ships make the process easy. No need to pack every night. Hanging out on board presents plenty of ways to relax while the ship moves. Nightly lectures and entertainment give insight to regions visited, plus provided music that's played earlier in this video. Of course, I had to ask one performer about favorite local movies.
Spider-Man far from home. They actually filmed a little scene here in the Netherlands, which I personally like because it has two comedians in there, Dutch comedians who have a very funny scene, and they do portray us like we are the fully dressed like this every day, which obviously we aren't, but it's very funny, so you should watch it all.
Meeting new friends, eating fine food, and seeing beauty in nature means tulip fever is something you want to catch.
Vult mijn gedachten als de mooiste stad in ons land. Al die Amsterdamse mensen, al die lichtjes 's avonds laat op het plein. Wat kan zich beter wensen dan een Amsterdammer te zijn?